astronauts endure some of the most intense psychological challenges known to humanity, challenges that are far more intricate and profound than the ones we encounter on Earth. These brave individuals face solitude, extreme environmental conditions, and the immense responsibility of being in space that tests their mental endurance beyond expectation. This isolation can take place amidst the deafening silence of space, where their only companions are a select group of teammates. This new home, a spacecraft, is as confined in its space as it is swallowed by an infinite expanse outside. It's been reported that astronauts have expressed feelings of claustrophobia and confinement-induced stress due to the limited room they have to move around. As they venture deeper into the enigma of space, they are compelled to relinquish more than just geographical proximity to Earth. They must yield the warm familiarity of their normal lives. The comforting rhythm of day and night is replaced by 16 sunrises and sunsets a day in space, disrupting their circadian rhythm and often leading to sleep disorders. The isolation, combined with the high-pressure environment of space explorations, can cause significant mental health issues. Astronauts might experience heightened anxiety and depressive episodes, conditions that are accentuated by the extreme environment of space. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, has reported that around 27% of astronaut missions have seen incidences of anxiety and 28% of depression. They may also face unique psychological issues, like the third quarter phenomenon, a documented decline in mood that usually occurs halfway through space missions. This condition is marked by a decrease in morale and motivation and has been reported in 60% of astronauts on long-duration missions. Rigorous measures are implemented. Highly selective processes are carried out to ensure only those with exceptional mental and emotional resilience are chosen for the mission. Extensive training is offered to prepare them for the isolation and stress, often simulating the harsh conditions of space travel on Earth. In-mission support includes tangible reminders of home and regular teleconferences with psychologists to provide mental health support. Regular check-ins with mental health professionals are scheduled. Teleconferences during which psychologists assess their mental state, offer coping strategies, and lend a sympathetic ear to their concerns. The importance of mental health in space travel cannot be underestimated, especially as the duration and distances of space missions increase. Research has shown that long-term isolation can lead to cognitive decline and drastic changes in brain structure. This alarming finding highlights the pressing need for continual research and innovation targeted at maintaining mental health during space travel. Scientists are studying ways to mitigate these effects, developing strategies to counter the cognitive decline, and devising techniques to maintain astronauts' mental well-being. These can range from creating more homely and spacious spacecraft to developing advanced communication systems that allow for more frequent, real-time contact with loved ones. Ongoing research into the psychological effects of space travel is integral to the success of future missions and the well-being of astronauts. By gaining a deeper understanding of these issues, we can ensure that our astronauts are not physically, but also mentally equipped to venture into the unknown. This extends beyond the realm of space travel, shedding light on how prolonged isolation and extreme environments can impact mental health in various scenarios. Join us as we delve deeper into the often overlooked psychological trials of space travel that astronauts courageously tackle every day. Their resilience to venture beyond our planet is a testament to the human spirit's capacity. The journey of space explorers begins on our terrestrial home, where they are subjected to an intense educational regime and a comprehensive psychological formation process. The objective is to ready them for the multifaceted challenges they will encounter when living in the cosmos. This preparation process is not exclusively focused on physical endurance or technical knowledge, but rather composes a fusion of these elements and more. The training penetrates the essence of human psychology, digging into a deeper, more complicated component, the nurturing of mental fortitude. Astronauts are not merely trained to handle hefty workloads or adjust to limited privacy. They are also prepared to withstand lengthy periods of separation from their families and close ones. They are given tools and resources to traverse the emotional terrain that inevitably accompanies such solitude. The extensive, intricate training surpasses teaching rudimentary coping mechanisms. It prepares the astronauts to function at their best, to sustain their mental and emotional well-being, even under the most extreme stressors and extended isolation periods. The Behavioral Health and Performance Team at NASA takes the lead in this exceptional training process, acting as a fundamental pillar of astronaut preparation. This team concentrates its efforts on discovering and creating new psychological treatments specifically adapted to aid astronauts in their cosmic voyage. They delve into various aspects of astronaut psychology, from examining the ideal balance for astronaut team makeups, potential teamwork issues, to even unique individual differences. All these research subjects are directed towards one ultimate objective: to enrich the training processes even more, ensuring astronauts are not only physically ready for space travel, but also mentally robust. In their training, astronauts are mandated to engage in regular sessions with psychologists and other mental health experts. These sessions form a part of their preparation, a non-compromisable necessity. The sessions aim to enhance and fortify the astronauts' coping tactics for managing the distinctive pressures that accompany space travel, including feelings of solitude, confinement, and the unavoidable interpersonal disagreements. The training program employs modern technology extensively. The astronauts utilize virtual reality simulations to rehearse dealing with potential psychological and emotional trials brought on by extended space travel. This inventive, avant-garde approach to training allows the astronauts to experience and manage feelings of solitude and interpersonal conflict in a controlled and simulated environment, granting them the opportunity to confront and address these issues before they are millions of miles away from Earth. Moreover, advanced scientific research has shed light on the efficiency of this approach. A study published in the renowned Journal of Applied Psychology revealed that astronauts who underwent virtual reality training were significantly better prepared to handle the stress and isolation associated with space travel. This data instills confidence that these training programs are invaluable. The astronauts also undergo physical and survival training, learning how to operate the spacecraft, perform spacewalks, and manage emergency situations. The role of technology in training is fundamental, with astronauts learning how to use the sophisticated equipment on board the spacecraft and the International Space Station. The training program incorporates a variety of mindfulness techniques and cognitive behavioral therapy to help astronauts manage anxiety and stress. These scientifically proven psychological techniques are designed to help astronauts stay aware, alert, and focused, even in the most challenging, unpredictable environments. However, despite the meticulous and thorough measures taken, the experience of being millions of miles away from Earth cannot be perfectly replicated in training. These programs lay a solid foundation, but the real test lies in the vast, incomprehensible expanse of space, where aid is far beyond. Visualize yourself inhabiting a space no larger than a 6-bedroom house, sharing it with a static group of individuals for a prolonged time. This isn't mere conjecture for an astronaut. It's the stark reality they face during extended space missions. The isolation they experience becomes not just a significant challenge, but a fundamental aspect of their vocation. The environment they occupy, confined within the metal walls of a spacecraft, is restrictive and unvarying in terms of their physical surroundings. Each day mirrors the one before it, bringing the same views, the same confined quarters, the same monotonous routines. Every nook and cranny of their living area, each piece of mission-critical equipment, each vacuum-sealed meal becomes a part of their daily existence. The lack of fresh experiences, the limited variety which instigate the spark of interest in our minds are non-existent. This, in turn, gives rise to a psychological monotony as boundless and ceaseless as the universe they traverse. The individuals they share this confined space with remain unchanged. Their fellow crew members become their allies, their team, family. The relationships they form are unique and powerful, triggered by shared experiences and mutual reliance. But this bond, the absence of any new faces, of any fresh personalities, also contributes to the mental fatigue. Astronauts like Samantha Cristoforetti and Kayla Barron, seasoned space travelers, provide valuable insights into this peculiar existence. They underline not only the thrilling instances of their journey, but also the harsh reality of living in a microgravity setting. These challenges extend beyond the physical realm, impacting their mental and emotional well-being. The significant physical hurdles they face are indeed challenging. The human body isn't built for space, and it retaliates likewise. The absence of gravity results in muscle and bone degradation, vision impairments, among other health problems. Counteracting these impacts demands strenuous exercise and vigilant health monitoring, adding to the astronaut's burden. However, the psychological challenge posed by this isolation is even more formidable. Societal norms and interactions we take for granted on Earth are absent in space. This ceaseless confinement can lead to feelings of desolation, a sense of loneliness that can be overwhelming despite being surrounded by others. The paradox of feeling alone in a crowd can be disorienting. Heightened scrutiny adds to this stress. Every under perpetual watch, leaving little room for privacy. The unending gaze of the universe becomes the astronaut's only silent companion, observing their every moment. Under this spotlight, a unique type of pressure is experienced, which can lead to mental health issues like depression, profound ennui, and anxiety. On the flip side, this seclusion can also foster an exceptional sense of unity and interdependence. The astronauts essentially create a cosmic family, sharing a bond that surpasses normal human relationships. They depend on each other for emotional support, companionship, and survival. This relationship can transform into a beacon of hope amidst the infinite expanse of space. Research by NASA has revealed that these extraordinary conditions can lead to a literal change in an astronaut's brain structure. Their motor skills and perception of their surrounding environment are altered, and this alteration is so deep-seated that it lingers. They return to Earth. Reacclimating to Earth's conditions becomes a substantial challenge. To assist astronauts in managing these rigors, various coping strategies are being studied. For instance, virtual reality therapy can offer a respite from the small confines of the spacecraft. Scheduled communication with their families can serve as a crucial link to their lives on Earth, reminding them of what waits for them upon their return. The impact of space isolation is profound, and the coping mechanisms being explored are vital for maintaining the mental health of. In the boundless expanse of the cosmos, astronauts rely heavily on a blend of inventive tactics and human interaction to preserve their mental well-being. Despite being located millions of miles from Earth, astronauts aren't entirely secluded or isolated. They have at their disposal a suite of in-flight support systems and tools, all crafted to keep them psychologically tethered to Earth, helping to ease the stress of life in space. This indirect connection to their terrestrial home is both indispensable and crucial. For example, astronauts eagerly anticipate care packages brimming with personal items from their families, friends, and loved ones. These might be photos, letters, favorite books, or even specially designed food items that remind them of home. These cherished deliveries, meticulously curated to adhere to the constraints of space travel, do more than just brighten their day. They serve as a heartfelt, tangible touchstone of home, offering solace, comfort, and a sense of belonging in an otherwise austere and alien world. These gifts from Earth, laden with of their past life, also keep the astronauts grounded, reminding them of their humanity in the cold vastness of outer space. They reassure them that they are part of a larger universe, a reaffirming fact that can provide considerable psychological relief amid constant uncertainty. Besides these reminders of home, astronauts frequently partake in video calls with psychologists and mental health experts back on Earth. This constant contact, enabled by advanced telecommunication technology, gives astronauts a platform to share their thoughts, fears, and hopes. They receive advice and reassurance from professionals trained to help them manage the distinctive mental challenges that come with space travel. Further, the astronauts are encouraged to chronicle their thoughts and experiences. By documenting this extraordinary journey, they can process their feelings and articulate their experiences, turning an intimidating voyage into a deeply personal narrative. However, human connections aren't the only mechanism aiding the astronauts' mental health. Technological innovations play a critical role as well. Advanced robotics and immersive simulations are key to alleviating feelings of isolation, enhancing comfort, and managing any potential discord among the crew. NASA's robonauts, sophisticated machines designed to provide companionship to astronauts, are an invaluable resource. These robots, capable of performing hazardous or repetitive tasks, can significantly reduce the workload of astronauts. The freed-up time can then be dedicated to scientific exploration and research. Immersive simulations that transport astronauts, even if only momentarily, to familiar and calming surroundings are equally significant. Astronauts can virtually experience a walk through a lush forest, a visit to a serene beach, or a stroll along bustling city streets. These virtual environments, scientifically designed to reduce stress and anxiety, provide a much-needed mental health boost. Astronauts also maintain a regimen, inclusive of work, exercise, meals, and leisure. This routine, despite the extraordinary circumstances, lends a semblance of normality, instilling stability and order in the midst of chaos. They also employ biofeedback technology to monitor and control their physiological responses to stress. In a nutshell, this harmonious interweaving of human interaction, technological assistance, and disciplined routine forms the crux of astronauts' mental health management in the uncharted territory of space. This multi-pronged approach ensures that they remain psychologically resilient throughout their journey. Coming back to Earth after a long-duration space mission can feel like arriving in an alien world for the astronauts. This feeling represents a succession of physical, mental, and emotional changes that they must undergo as they transition from a stark microgravity environment to our familiar terrestrial environment. It's a journey punctuated by a distinct metamorphosis of mind, body, and spirit. Imagine dwelling for months within the narrow confines of a spaceship, floating in a microgravity environment where the ordinary laws of physics are suspended. You're thousands upon thousands of miles away from your home and everything that is familiar to you. The solitary existence in the boundless expanse of space, punctuated only by the occasional voices of mission control, becomes your new normal. Then, abruptly, after months in space, you find yourself back on our blue planet, firmly rooted to the ground by gravity, a force you haven't experienced in what feels like an eternity, and engulfed by the hustle and bustle of the life you once knew. It's a strange and overwhelming experience, a readjustment as significant as the journey you initially embarked on. The spaceship's touchdown doesn't signal the end of this journey, it merely marks a transition phase. The post-mission period, often overlooked, is vitally critical. It may mirror the pre-flight psychological preparations, but with additional emotional and psychological complexities. This phase is a time of psychological rebalancing, of grappling with the profound experiences of space travel and fitting them into the astronaut's existent mental framework. The psychological support for astronauts doesn't decrease but continues unbroken, providing necessary assistance as they navigate their way back into their former life. This period can be likened to an emotional cyclone. The astronauts undergo a spectrum of feelings: relief at having returned safely, pure joy at having achieved their mission, disorientation from the sudden switch of environment, and a deep longing for the unique space experience that had become their norm. Adjusting to life back on Earth is a multi-layered challenge. There's the physical facet that involves reacclimating to the gravitational pull after months of weightlessness, adapting to the sensory barrage of smells, sounds, and sights that are notably absent in space, and relearning simple tasks that are complicated by living in microgravity conditions. This physical readjustment alone typically lasts for approximately 3 weeks, but it's just the beginning of the adjustment process. The psychological transition is far more complex and time-consuming. Astronauts often confront a unique sense of isolation, not related to loneliness, but to the difficulty of sharing experiences with those who haven't been to space. They may struggle with re-establishing connections with their loved ones and returning to their pre-space flight routines, which can appear mundane or even trivial compared to the incredible adventures they've experienced. Extensive support system is in place to guide astronauts through this critical phase. Regular check-ins, counseling sessions, group therapy, and other forms of psychological support form the backbone of this network. These resources aim to help astronauts process feelings of disconnection or displacement and transition smoothly back into their terrestrial life. Mental health professionals aid them in expressing their experiences, making the seemingly alien elements more relatable for not just themselves, but also their families and colleagues. Data collected from multiple space agencies worldwide shows that nearly 45% of astronauts experience varying degrees of post-mission psychological effects. This statistic highlights the absolute necessity of these mental health support systems. The mental well-being of our astronauts is considered a top priority, and every measure is taken to ensure their smooth reintegration into everyday life. Space travel is more than just a journey into the uncharted expanses of the cosmos. It's also a quest to understand the human mind and its incredible capacity for adaptation. It's about celebrating the resilience of the human spirit, capable of not just surviving, but thriving in the most challenging conditions. With the right support, astronauts can flourish, whether they are exploring the unexplored expanses of space or assimilating.